Welcome to 5 at 5 with me, Boria Majumdar on Sports Today. Eyewitness speaks out on Sports Today about what had transpired at the Sydney Cricket Ground on day 3, day 5, and 3 days of that particular test match. Says Rishabh Pant was abused, Ajinkya Rahane was abused, Mohammad Siraj was abused, spectators, including himself, he was abused. The Indian flag was violated. So the question for the Sydney Cricket Ground, Cricket Australia, security, everyone out there, why did the matter go to where it did? Why wasn't intervention done earlier? Why did the Indian team have to take it up with the authorities that we are having to debate this today? Why wasn't it stopped when your country was being shamed in front of the world? Questions straight away. Question number 2 on this point. When this man goes back on day 5, Krishna Kumar, for the sake of his protection, I will not give the full name away. When he goes back on day 5, he's racially profiled, body frisked, searched, disrespected, violated. Who has given you the right to these security people to violate this man? Who has? And what step will be taken? Will it be tokenism again? Will he be violated again? Or will there be concrete action from Cricket Australia, from New South Wales, from the International Cricket Council? These are questions that the BCCI too need to raise with CA. It's not simply about the players, it is about the fans as well. They are equal stakeholders of our game, equal stakeholders, and they make the game what it is. Number 2, thankfully, because of the intervention of the BCCI, the Indian team gets some concessions in Brisbane. For example, the lift, the access to the gym, the access to the pool at the team hotel has now been opened up. Housekeeping, room service, not yet, but chances are will happen. BCCI President Saurav Ganguly, Secretary Jay Shah and Chief Executive Hemang Amin were in touch with cricket counterparts in Australia, Earl Eddings, Nick Hockley, and the others. Multiple conference calls happened, multiple calls happened. This happened 2 days back, 1 day before the team traveled, yesterday when the team reached, and yesterday when things weren't done, the BCCI pushed hard, saying certain promises were made by Cricket Australia. The memorandum of understanding signed between the two boards states a few things. You've got to honor them. And we are glad that despite all of the restrictions there, the extraordinary times, Cricket Australia has ensured today that certain concessions have been made to the Indian team. For example, the pool, the Indian board demanded that the team needs to recover after that Sydney grind. How will they? And that's what was done. Point number 3, India continues to be plagued by injuries. The fast bowlers were given a break today from training. They did go to the ground, but none of the fast bowlers bowled. Jasprit Bumrah continues to be highly unlikely to play. So we will see a new look Indian attack led by Mohammad Siraj. Point number 4, and we move to badminton here. PV Sindhu's shocking start at the Thailand Open, lost out yesterday, but Satvik and Chirag, both of them, I mean, that's a big victory moving into the round of 16 from our probable Olympic medalists. This is one doubles team that you need to keep an eye for. Saina Nehwal plays tonight after what was a rather strange treatment meted out to her. And we got to protest as to what transpired with her and Kidambi Srikanth. Kidambi Srikanth posted this photograph of blood coming out of his nose from COVID tests. For God's sake, in cricket, we've got players and commentators. Harsha Bhogle said he's taken 30 tests. Blood didn't come out. So you've got to treat our athletes with care. These are international sportsmen. Kiran Rijiju, the minister, is on record saying he is actively monitoring it. And I know he's an proactive man, clearly in touch with the players through the Badminton Association of India. So we need action there. Finally, very importantly, the Brisbane test is going on. We want to clarify all doubts. 100 meters away from the team hotel, the Grand Chancellor Hotel was evacuated. 250 odd people evacuated because they found a UK strain virus a few days back. Despite that, the Indian team is playing this test match. They could have said a mutant strain was found, we will not play this test match. The memorandum of understanding says after the first 14-day quarantine, they will not have to go through hard quarantine again. That's what the memorandum of understanding says. Even after this, the Indian team, and you see Priti Ashwin's tweets, you will know what they are going through. They are playing this test match. The BCCI is committed to this series. We as fans and analysts are committed to this series. So my plea to world champion Alyssa Healy. Alyssa Healy, you're an international cricketer of repute. We celebrate you. For God's sake, don't make yourself a public disgrace. By tweeting what you did, we survived. Come on, we expect more sensitivity. If these demands weren't justified, if the memorandum of understanding did not exist, do you think your board would have done what they've done over the last 24 hours? Frankly, ma'am, is this your remit to talk to you? No, and maybe you are stronger. You are stronger, harder, mentally tougher. All credit to you. You're a legend. But why on earth are you crossing your remit? Don't make yourself a public disgrace, for God's sake. Let us celebrate you, Alyssa Healy. Your husband is a star. We celebrate him in India. We celebrate you in India. Why on earth would you make such comments, damage bilateral relations between the two boards, between the two teams, in what is a series of the highest caliber? Such flippant, trivial comments are unwarranted from a legend like you of our game. We need better ambassadors of our game. We need better statesmen of our game and women. And ma'am, plea to you. Yes, we've had a Twitter exchange in the past. But again, I am saying this. You are a legend of our game. You deserve better. We deserve better. The Indian team deserves better. Because that's why your board did what they did. And I know for a fact that the Indian team has been given better rooms because your board is on record to tell our secretary and president that they want to do everything possible despite restrictions to try and make them comfortable for the tour. So there are issues, ma'am. Respect the sensitivity. Respect the issues that the series has gone on. I'll finish there with a plea that 140 characters on Twitter, just pressing the send button, doesn't really reflect well on a true ambassador of our sport. I'm not going to finish this broadcast because I'm going to welcome Akash Chopra, an absolute champion in his own right, and Deep Das Gupta back on this broadcast. Akash, thank you very much for your time. Sorry to keep you waiting, mate, for 3 minutes. Deep Das Gupta, we've got this fellow back again. He promised me, he's delivered again. Akash Chopra, 2 straight questions. On Sports Today over the last 30 minutes, we had eyewitness accounts of what's gone on in terms of racism. Vilification of not only the cricketers, vilification of spectators, eyewitness account with profound details. Will there be action? Do you demand action as a former cricketer? Did you ever face racial vilification or profiling? And someone who is as popular as you, will you speak out on this matter?
Oh, well, of course. Why not, Boria? The fact is, the mere fact that we are actually discussing this in 2021 tells us that we have not nipped the problem for so long. We call about strong action. We still say Black Lives Matter and all of that, take the knee, which is fantastic. But the point is, why do we have to do that in 2021? Are we not evolving as a human race? What exactly is leading to this? Obviously, there is not enough respect, there is not enough understanding, and there's not enough evolution as far as I'm concerned, because it just tells me that people are not right. A lot of people do not think right, do not think straight, and it's fine. Okay, it's fine if I were to. Everybody has a right to live, but they don't have a right to be in a sporting field for sure. So if you can't respect those boundaries, if you can't respect another human being, I'm all right with a banter. So we've seen banter, a lot of banter has happened over a period. In fact, while playing in India, well, there will be crowds in there who would actually be your case. But that's okay. That's all right. I'm not saying that, as cricketers, we are the prima donnas and, we are made of, we are very fragile and sensitive. No, we are not. We are happy to take it. But the fact is, it needs to stop. And there is CCTV footage. There is, as you say, eyewitness account. That's it. That's game over for the guy who did it or the group of people who did it. And they should be now banned and make a statement and a statement for everyone, not just you're trying to perhaps do the right thing. It's also about making a huge statement for everybody to understand that this is not allowed. This cannot happen. So yes, Voria, it has to stop. There are no two ways about it as far as I'm concerned. Okay, yeah, that's the second question.
Yeah.
See, anybody of my color, your color, Deep's color has once in a while faced it. Let's be honest about it. No point mincing words, because if you are away, like if you are in England, South Africa, Australia, there will be a few bad eggs. So my share of maybe racial profiling and some amount of racism happened when I was in England playing league cricket, and they have a different word actually. They call they call whoever they want to actually like racially abuse, they call them Paki. So Paki is
Yeah.
the word that Deep would also know. Is the word that's used in a very derogatory manner. Our neighbors should also be very angry about it. But so that has happened many a times. In fact, I was actually racially abused by a South African in England. So I was playing this league game where a South African was playing for an English club, and he just went after me for no rhyme or reason, even when I was standing at the non-striker end. So these things have happened, but I'm talking about what 2007 was the last year when I went to England. And we are in 2021, 14 years down the line. We had Teshwar Pujara going there facing the same thing. We've had Siraj and Bumrah standing at the boundary, him now in a different country, but facing the same thing. So the fact remains that as humans, as human race, we are not evolving fast enough or right enough.
Deep, coming to you, you know that the BCCI has intervened and there were certain demands made by the Indian cricket team, some just demands. For example, if they could have access to the gym, if they could have access to the pool for recovery sessions after that grind, the lift, because they are on the 26th floor of the hotel, so you cannot possibly expect them to walk down and up. So there were certain just demands made by the team, and Cricket Australia, both of us know, having our conversations with the BCCI management, president, secretary, chief executive, in touch with the Cricket Australia counterparts, have sorted it to a degree, to whatever degree they could. So there is lift is now available and working. Gym is now available to them. The pool is available to them. And from what I know, housekeeping will also be made available. So there is a tremendous degree of collaboration, cooperation happening. And here's a world champion lady comes out on Twitter and says, oh, New Zealand and us were in the same hotel and we've survived. Do you think sportsmen and women need to be more responsible? Because they are role models of our society. People take them seriously rather than making flippant comments.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No two ways. I mean, we all have to be very, very responsible, especially sports people. As you mentioned, because we are taken seriously. I mean, we like it or not. I mean, we have responsibility, we have duties. So, yes, we have to be very, very careful what we say, how we say it, how we communicate, the language that we use. It can't be, I mean, you can't just say, you know, I don't care. I mean, you have to care. There's no two way. And especially in this day and age where there is social media, which is so vibrant, and the other media as well. I mean, your more orthodox media or mainstream media, which is again very vibrant and dynamic. So yeah, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful and treat yourself seriously as well. You can't be flippant like that and say whatever you want to.
Akash, a comment on that, because you are a social media phenomenon by your own right. So when you make social media posts, and I'm serious here, seriously,
Yeah.
not flippant. When you make posts, do you keep this in mind that you are actually influencing young people also? That's question number one. And question number two, a cricketing question to you both now. Now that we know that the Indian attack is okay. Yesterday I asked Deep this. I want to ask you this, Akash. Would you risk a Jasprit Bumrah with an abdomen strain when he might break down, or he can break down possibly, with the Test Championship on the balance, 4 tests against England? Obviously, there is this temptation, series win, etc. What would you do? So 2 questions to you before I go to Deep with the second one.
Okay, so first to answer that social media thing, yes, I really think quite strongly for a fair amount of time, because uh, see, this platform, this social media is not for impulsive people. And sports people, public figures, influencers, and all of that, they can also be very impulsive. So the whole thing is that don't be impulsive. Think 25 times, 1,000 times before you actually post it, because you might end up regretting it. When you see it snowballing into something, then you have to be very careful. And you have to bear in mind that you are influencing opinions. And that is where you're just pointing out one case, but there are many cases where people just go on a rant, they become flippant, they actually then and then they regret. I'm pretty sure that everybody, when they actually look back at it, they actually regret. You know, I should have actually avoided it. And then similarly, like, I think this one incident that comes to mind is that Steve Smith thing, and when he was actually stuffing up the guard. Now the first temptation is, okay, oh, you know, this is not right, but you got to just sit back, wait, and see, oh, is it cheating? No, it is not. So beware of this, that do not call him a cheat, because he's not cheating. Is it right, wrong, whatever, whichever stand you want to take, but you got to be mindful of the fact that he's not cheating. I'm just citing one example because it's too recent, and the whole social media universe has absolutely erupted, exploded with everyone taking Steve Smith's case. I do understand, but you have to stop short of calling him that 5-letter word, because he is not that. He's not done that. So same for Alisa Healy in these times. These are actually sensitive times. These are very strange times. These are very disturbing times, and these are the times when we are talking about mental issues as well. So if I were there, let's be fair. If I were there and in a bubble for the last 6 months, you take away my housekeeping, you take away my room service, you take away access to the lift, tell me to take the stairs 26 floors or whatever, even 5 floors, leave 26. I will be cranky. I will be very unhappy. I won't be in a state of mind to actually play a test match at the end of that 6 month bubble period. So, complete total sympathy towards the Indian team, and feel for them. They should get it. I understand difficult times, but then you got to make allowances. You have to do whatever you can to make a team at least ready enough to take on the field. If you can't, then just cancel the test and move on. If it is that bad, then you don't have to play, because you need to. See, if you can't practice, you take away everything, and then you say, okay, just because you're sport people, come on, go out and play. No, I'm not in a mental state. Sorry, physically, half my team is down. I've been battered and bruised in the last couple of test matches, and this is the end of a 6 month long bio fatigue. So I can't take more. Give me some respect, and that's about it. It's not asking for moon and stars. So your second question is about
here it is like, you guys, sports people, are like these paid entertainers. I will take everything away, but wait, go perform for me. This is
that doesn't work.
insensitivity of the highest order, right? Anyway,
No, that doesn't work.
I'll ask Deep that. Second one was Bumrah.
No, you can't take a chance. You must not take a chance, not just for the England series, Boria and Deep, because see, he hasn't played test matches at home, and India can actually do very well without Bumrah in test matches. So he'll have an extended break now. But having said that, he's also had a history of injuries. He is, I saw your tweet, he's a national treasure. He is. So just don't, just for the sake of one test match, do not risk a serious injury, a graver injury that will actually put his career on the line, because back-to-back injuries are not good. He's got a couple of them already. He came back and he was almost half the bowler for 6 months. He's now found form and he's back to his very best. Now you risk it again, and God knows for how long you'll lose him again. We've already lost someone like Hardik Pandya's bowling, for example, because he's had injuries. So injuries are tricky. I wouldn't take a chance. Yes, I know it's depleted. Yes, I know it's like almost an India A bowling attack. Yes, that means that India will start as complete underdogs and Australia as favorites. But take it. You can't really be making or forcing a player play who's just borderline injury prone and is almost half injured, and you're now walking him to his grave. Don't do that. I wouldn't do it.
Deep.
I mean, I've said this before, Boria, Akash, you weren't here. What I said was you can't do this for two very important reasons for me. One is look at the calendar, next year's, or rather this year's calendar. It's packed. There are very, very important series. Chances are India will qualify for the finals of the Test Championship. That's important. There's an England series important, as Akash mentioned. You might not need, or you might get away without Bumrah during the home series, but you need him for the England series. You need him for the World Cup, mind you. So there's a very packed schedule or for this year. So you've got to make sure that he's fit for that. One is that. Secondly, listen, there is no guarantee that he might not break down during the game. Even if I say, listen, okay, he's 70% fit, blah, blah, blah. You don't have Jadeja, right? So chances are you're going in there with 4 bowlers, out of which the other 3, Ashwin has also had injury issues in the last test match with back spasm and all. So he's borderline fit, or rather maybe not 100% fit. And then you're going in with 4 bowlers. One of them is Bumrah, and he breaks down in his first spell. Where are you there then? So show some faith on Shardul Thakur as well, or whoever. Natarajan, if you want to pick, but I would personally pick Shardul. If you pick Shardul, show some faith, because he was picked before. He's played test match cricket. Unfortunately, he bowled only 2 balls or 4 balls in his test match career. Show some faith and give Bumrah a break. And as Akash mentioned, listen, I mean, we're talking about one of the best bowlers in the world. Let's not take chances here.
Okay. Akash, from what we know or understand, so there's one injury issue with Bumrah, the second with Vihari because it's a forced injury again change, and the third is Jadeja. So assuming Mayank is available, if he is not, then obviously Prithvi, would you get Ridhiman Saha to keep and get Pant to play as specialist batter? Would you get 5 bowlers? What would you do at this point in time? What would be your 11 like on a wicket that is expected to be fast and bouncy?
You can't play 5 bowlers. You got to play 4 bowlers, because if there is no Jadeja, you cannot possibly play 5 bowlers. Let's be honest to the man in the mirror, that our batting is something is an aspect that's letting us down in this entire series. It's not the bowling. So bowling has been all right, whether it's Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney. It's generally the batting that falls short. So now you're already hamstrung. You're a batsman short. There is no Kohli. We're not talking about him, but there is no Kohli. Your best batsman, the best batsman on the planet, is not available to you. You've got an injury to Hanuma Vihari. If he's not available, now you're looking to get two batsmen. So the ideal thing would be play 4 bowlers, play Ridhiman Saha, make him keep, because now when you're already a bowler short, you don't want a chance go begging. Not that you have too many choices also. Let's be fair. Even with the Mayank and Prithvi available, say assume that they're available, where will you play them? So both of them will end up actually batting out of position. Both of them are absolutely woefully out of form. So when you're looking at that and their possible returns in a test match, go to Shah. He'll give you more. He'll be a fantastic keeper behind the stumps. He can bat. Unfortunately, I call it a mahol. Mahol has been made, that perception that Saha can't bat and Rishabh can't keep. Both are absolutely not. Nothing can be further away from the truth. One has got a test century. The other has taken quite a few catches and stumping. So I say play both of them. Play Mayank or Prithvi, but play them out of position. I will not change the opening combination at all, because there's one thing that has worked in the previous game. Please, for God's sake, now don't change it. Get Mayank or Prithvi. Whoever comes in, bats at 6. Pant continues to at 5, and then play Ridhiman Saha, Shubman Gill and Rohit to open, in my opinion. 3 fast bowlers. I'd still go with Shardul, Navdeep and Siraj. And if Ashwin is fit, Ashwin. Otherwise, Kuldeep Yadav. Once again, you don't have too many choices.
Deep, your team, Saha, as the 7 batters. Give me your thoughts on the team.
I'm not averse to that. I'm definitely not. But one thing that I mentioned in, I think was yesterday to one of the questions, is I don't want to encourage Rishabh Pant only as a batsman. I think that's the easy way out. I don't want him to think he can get away as a pure batsman. I want him to be the wicket-keeper batsman or the batsman wicket-keeper, either way you want to take it. But I'm not averse to the fact that Ridhiman, and we've said this before, there is this perception that Akash mentioned, that Ridhiman with what, 2 test hundreds can't bat, and Rishabh can't keep. And again, can't keep. Let's not forget, Ridhiman also dropped at least a catch in the first test. So catches, you tend to drop catches. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are, you can be best in the world. Jonty Rhodes also dropped catches. I'm sure short leg, silly point, even Akash, who I think is one of the best I've seen, has dropped catches. So so it's no big deal. So I'm not averse to that idea, but my first option, I wouldn't mind having Mayank Agarwal there. And again, I know what Akash means here by not moving or not disturbing the opening pair. But someone like Rohit, who's batted in the middle order, I will also won't be averse to that idea either. Again, at this point in time, I'd say I'll be fluid. I'm more fluid at this point in time in my thought process.
Akash, hand on heart, this is not even India A, this is India B. From what has transpired now. If they are able to fight out
come on,
Brisbane,
I mean, come on, that's not fair. I mean,
no,
come on,
hold on. I mean, 7 guys or 8 guys not there. I was about to say that even after they are not there, the kind of toughness that this team is showing is quite exemplary. So that was my question, that with all of them not there, Australians cried saying, "Oh, Steve Smith, David Warner not there. You've beaten us, etc., etc." For God's sake, if you beat us with this team, what are you talking? We are not saying that. We are saying. So my question to you: do you really think we can still put up a fight in Brisbane with this team?
See, we will put up a fight for 2 reasons. One, that you've already mentioned, that this team has shown exemplary courage. They've actually shown that you throw stones at them, they'll turn them into milestones. They are the ones, so you can defeat them, but you can't defeat their spirit. And that makes me incredibly proud of just being an Indian, not a former cricketer, just as an Indian, that these are the guys who are representing my nation outside of India, and then they're making our flag fly high, and this is phenomenal. Because I did lose hope. Actually, from day one, I was saying there are only two results possible: Australia winning or India drawing. That's it. That was my take. But on the fourth evening, I thought it was game over, done and dusted. There's no Jadeja. You don't know how well Rishabh Pant will bat. And then, of course, a fifth day wearing pitch. You look at the bowling attack, look at the odds. It's not going to work. But they actually did it without their best players coming to the party, or being injured, or whatever else. They showed a lot of courage. So I expect them to fight. Now, I also feel that it will be down to the big guys, the Rohit Sharmas, Cheteshwar Pujaras, and Ajinkya Rahanes of this team to now stand up. Because if India were to draw this game or win this game, see, winning is going to be tough. I do not recall India winning a test match in Brisbane. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this is their impregnable fortress. So when you're talking about Brisbane, you're talking about this Australian team with Steve Smith back in form, India's fast bowling depleted with a David Warner to contain with. It's not going to be easy. So for Indian team to find fire and also fight on equal terms, it will be down to the three big guys. If they turn up, we are in for a fight. If they do not, for just God forbid, then I think it is tilting in favor of the hosts.
Deep, on that particular day, Akash is always sort of one to sort of call spade a spade. He and I were having this Twitter exchange, and Akash said it's almost done. And I said, bro, in sport, we live in hope. And I told him, so if they do, then you're coming on my show. And there he is. So thank God he said what he said. So,
yeah, I also said I'd like to salute this team, man. I will salute this team.
Exactly. I mean, all of us are. We are absolutely thrilled for this team. But Deep, same question. Isn't it too tough an ask now? Or anyone turns up, this is now in that zone, momentum, or you know what, we'll do it one final 10.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as Akash mentioned, if you look at the team sheet, you look at the history, India has never won in Brisbane. I think Australia hasn't lost in Brisbane a test match since early 90s or late 90s, something like that, 92 or 98, maybe more, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, if you look at everything else, but I don't know yet, somehow, if this had been any other series, I would have said, geez, no chance. But, you know, momentum, I wouldn't want to call it more, the confidence, the fighting spirit that this team has shown. I mean, listen, that is one thing for sure. This team's not going down without a fight. That is for sure. So I don't know. Something in me just tells me that, you know, they're in it. They're definitely in it. It's going to be a Herculean task. There is absolutely no two ways about it. Then if you look at the bowling attack, three newcomers, three spinners. Ashwin, apart from Ashwin, the other threes are like one test match, which is obviously about 2 balls or 4 balls. Shardul Thakur, two test match and 1 test match. That's your bowling attack, apart from Ashwin. Batting wise, obviously Hanuman's not around. Obviously Virat's not around. Jadeja, who's done so well with the bat in the last year to a couple of years now, he's not around. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. But you know, that's how this series has panned out. I mean, post the first test match, I mean, it's just the fighting spirit that has kept India going in this series, and obviously that's not going to fade away anytime soon.
You know, my time is up because Akash is one whose Akashvani one episode gets him 1 million hits. So to keep blackmailing him and getting him for free is wrong on my part. So I'm publicly proclaiming that. Because he's a friend, he keeps indulging me. But there is also a degree to which that indulgence can be stretched. So Akash, once again, keep making mistakes, so that we can keep asking you and keep asking you to come back on my show. Do something, whether it's a predict, do something so that you can come back. On that note, you know, Deep is a champion. All I will say is no guts, no glory, no stress, no story. Each of these players are stories. They have scripted lore. They have scripted folklore in Australia. Can they script another chapter to their lore at the Gabba in Brisbane? It is unbelievable. So all I will say is, as I said, no guts, no glory, no stress, no story. And these guys are stories. So don't write them off. Don't write them off. Because in sport, we live in hope. We live in aspiration. And on Sports Today, our job is to celebrate them. Our job